Everyone. I have some big news today. This is going to be my very last podcast ever. April Fools. Everyone has a story, and every story matters. Over the years, I've been blessed to meet many interesting people. All have a unique story to share. This isn't a show just about their stories, but about the stories that have also shaped me. Stories that you just can't make up. Welcome to You Can't Make It Up. I'm your host, Chrissy Jackson. I am a podcast newbie. I've dreamed of hosting my own show for many years, so here I am taking the leap. Thank you for taking it with me. Today is Tuesday, April 1st, 2025, April Fool's Day. That joke at the beginning was the best I could come up with. I hope nobody's trying to fool you today. Welcome to episode number 9 podcast. You're here. If this is your first time to listen, I am in menopause. I am middle-aged. I'm a mom. I love my family. I love Jesus. I love music. I love working out with my Peloton. And I am bringing this broadcast to you from Houston, Texas. My dream is to travel the world and experience the beauty that God has created. And I hope this will be an avenue to take me. What will you learn or gain listening to my podcast? You'll hear real stories. Stories you can't make up. My goal is to share real life with my listeners. I want to encourage you to never give up. Life is hard, but you can overcome any obstacle with perseverance, and we can all persevere.
Thank you for listening to You Can't Make It Up. Interested in sponsoring this podcast? Email us. You can't make it up. bcpmedia@gmail.com.
Spring break 2025. Y'all remember your spring break when you were a kid? Maybe not as a kid so much, but as a teenager? As a teenager, I do. I was doing things that I probably shouldn't have been doing when I was a teenager on spring break. It was the age of MTV Spring Break. You remember the show would pick a destination and broadcast, or not the show, MTV would pick a destination and broadcast for the week there. Remember, Panama Beach, Daytona, that was a good. Anyway, spring break. Good times. A couple of weeks ago, we had spring break. This year, we as a family did not go anywhere. However, our teenage daughter did go to South Padre Island for her friend's 16th birthday. They were supervised by 2 parents. Thank goodness. Before she left, we joked, don't go to Mexico. Why would you joke about something like that, right? Because South Padre is very close to Mexico. I was a teenager, went to South Padre just so you could go to Mexico. You can't do that anymore, unfortunately. When I was her age, same age that she was on the trip to South Padre Island, back when she was gone, I was like, where was I during my spring break, my sophomore year? We were at a beach house, unsupervised, in Crystal Beach. I have lots of thoughts about this. 1, what did I tell my mom? 2, I was going to say, how on earth did we get this beach house? But it's all coming back to me now. A friend's mom rented it for us. Not a good idea. There was lots of things happening at said beach house that should not have been happening for 16-year-old kids. I do wonder, do kids these days do the same thing and act a fool like we did? I feel like I do. I feel like they don't. Or am I oblivious? I just saw something on Facebook this weekend, though, that showed a picture of that same beach in 1998 at spring break, and it was very different. And lots of the comments said, this is life before smartphones. And I really do think that, or I don't think, I know that smartphones have changed our lives. So yeah, I started talking to my sister about spring break. And and then this week's episode, I decided that I wanted to bring her on to give some perspective on spring break 2002 versus spring break 2025. I will have that conversation. I know you're excited for you next week on You Can't Make It Up. And friends, I am going to try a video podcast again. So I hope you'll tune in and join us. Sissy, Jackie, Chrissy are going to talk about spring break and what kids these days are missing. So every week, You Can't Make It Up week, something in the media that I've seen that has me shaking or scratching my head. It's the You Can't Make It Up story of the week. This show is still a work in progress, and thank you to everyone who has told me that they are listening. I really appreciate it. If you have a suggestion for this segment of the podcast, let me know. The last couple of weeks, I've talked about the Eagles, talked about some March Madness, and I would like you all to know that I am still in third place in both brackets, unfortunately. I say third place, I might be in last place because we've got a weird situation this year with brackets and who's playing. And anyway, I'm not doing well. But I will have you know that the Longhorns beat TCU tonight in the women's Elite Eight and are moving on to the Final Four. And the University of Houston men are still in the mix. So congratulations, Texas, for representing this championship basketball season. So back to You Can't Make It Up, the story for this week. Y'all, what's going on? President Trump has been signing lots of new orders and executive orders and things and such. So he's canceled April Fool's Day. He did not want anybody to get a joke over on him, so he decided that he was going to cancel it. So yeah, can't make it up, right? Yes, you can make it up. That is my second terrible April Fool's joke for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Joke, it's on you. Didn't have time to look for a story to share for this segment of the podcast, but in the future, if you have a fun story to share that is just crazy and out there and you think it would be worth talking about, send me a message. You can't make it up. bcpmedia@gmail.com. That's going to do it for this episode of You Can't Make It Up. Thank you for listening to episode number 9. Make sure you subscribe to my show wherever you get your podcasts. Please leave me a review and let me know what you think and share the podcast with your family and friends. I'd love to have you sponsor my show. If you're willing to take a risk and support this show, leave a comment with your contact information. You can find me in between episodes on social media. On Instagram, I am yourmom6868. On X, my handle is CNF77, also known as Boring Christine, which is the name I go by on my Peloton app. Make sure you follow me there so we can get a workout together. And speaking of my Peloton, I am so excited that I am going to be celebrating my 200th tread boot camp, this weekend on Sunday, April 6th, 9 a.m. Central Time, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And I get to celebrate it with my favorite Peloton instructor, Jess Sims. This is like a huge milestone, and I wanted to do it in person, but I'm not going to be able to do it in person. So I am going to shout it out here. Hooray, 200 boot camps. And I get to do it with my favorite instructor. And what's really cool is that I don't have to be in person, but I am going to do it. She's doing it live, and I'm going to take it with her live class. And I think this is her first Sims 60 back live in person since her surgery. So thank you, Jess Sims. I'm so excited I get to celebrate this milestone with you on Sunday. Thank you again for joining me for You Can't Make It Up. Tune in for a new episode every Tuesday. Thank you for listening.
Can't Make It Up is a production of BCP Multimedia. This podcast is produced and written by Chrissy Jackson. All rights are reserved.